Welcome to the Mindset on Mobility class for Soldier On. Today you can start out by grabbing a foam roller and then come to lie on your back. And then you'll place the foam roller right across your back, middle to upper back. And if you could imagine sort of where the sports bra, the bottom of the sports bra would be, that's sort of what you're looking for here. And I understand that you might not wear a sports bra. Adam definitely doesn't wear one, but just as a reference point. And then your hands are on your chest and you just sort of start to move side to side. So currently us at Mindset on Mobility are offering classes to Soldier On participants. And this is something that's happening weekly currently, but if you didn't have the opportunity to sign up for the classes or they just didn't fit your schedule, we wanted to provide you with something that you could do on your own, at your own pace, whenever works for you. So breathing in and out of your nose as you sort of rest your torso and go side to side. Feet are on the floor. And then come back to center and sort of drop your head towards the floor, so it might not reach it, but you're sort of bending over the foam roller and then doing this old school sit up towards the thighs. And if that doesn't feel good, like just stay still on the foam roller. So that's something really important whenever we're going through any movements. Like if it feels sketchy, it is. Don't do it. And especially in these cases where we're not really with you to see what your movement looks like, you really need to pay attention to what's going on in your body. What feels good, what doesn't feel good, and then adjust as you need. So a few more breaths here. And this class for you today is going to be about 20 minutes. And you don't need to do the full thing. You can do parts of it. You can do a minute here, a minute there, whatever really works for you. All right, adjust the foam roller up just slightly and then go back to that side to side movement. And again, as you can see here, it's not a big movement that you're making. Just sort of leaning to the left and to the right. If you ever find that you come into a position and you can't take a full breath, then that position, you don't own it, as they say, so you really need to adjust so you can take a big breath in that position. And then back to that extend and flex over the foam roller. So breathing and being focused and really owning these positions is essentially what we're going to talk about today. And breathing is something that most of us rarely think about. Our body just regulates it and it just happens on its own. But while it happens on its own, doesn't mean that you're breathing correctly. So extending and flexing over the foam roller. Last few breaths. All right, you can come off the foam roller, place it on the side and grab a mobility ball. And you'll place the ball right in the middle of your shoulder blade area. And then knees are bent, feet on the floor, and just rest your hands. And right now, I want you to take a really deep breath. Big inhale and a long exhale. Okay, one more time. Inhale. Exhale. So did the breath go into your belly? Or do you notice if it primarily was in your chest? Or did you feel like your breath was maybe constricted? All right, place the hand on the side of the ball, so the right hand in this case, underneath your low back. Palm faces down, so your fingernails are touching your back. So I want you to try to breathe into your belly. So the belly rises and falls. And you can even place your opposite hand on your belly to see if you can start to make that connection. But if you think of a proper breath, like if you've ever watched a baby breathe, their belly rises and falls. And that's because that proper breath is coming from the diaphragm. So last few breaths here, really connect to deep belly breathing. Okay, then remove the ball, place it on your opposite shoulder blade, so that bony triangle shape in your upper back. And you might need to move the ball around until you feel something that really works for you. And then stay and breathe. And again, if you can't take a full breath, it means you don't own that position. So if this is too much, even taking the ball to the wall, so then you're not sort of pouring your whole weight of your torso into the ball. So that might be a little bit better for you, just moving to a wall and scrubbing the ball back and forth against the wall. So breathe and stay still. Or as I just alluded to, you scrub back and forth. Okay, place your left hand underneath your low back, palm faces down. And this scrubbing, so if you could think of like washing a dish or trying to get like cooked food off of a pan, you sort of move side to side. So it's the same thing here with the ball. So as we're paying more attention to our breath, now that you're thinking of bringing it into your belly, I want you to extend your exhales. So what that means is your exhales will be longer than your inhales. And that's what really triggers the relaxation response in the body. Okay, you can remove the ball, just place it on the side. Grab your foam roller again. And then bring the foam roller onto the side of your torso. So middle to upper torso. And then again, stay there, pause, and breathe. And you might just make these slight side-to-side rolling movements. So the chest slightly comes to the floor, and then as you roll onto the back, the chest points up towards the ceiling. And just moving side to side, working on getting those exhales longer than your inhales. So breathing is so important, not because it, just relaxes us, which is obviously very important, but it facilitates performance. So athletic performance, or even, if you're going out for a daily walk or presentation at work, because it increases the amount of oxygen in the blood. And not only that, so when you have more oxygen in your blood, it carries that into the muscles, and it also helps facilitate with the removal of waste products. So adjusting the foam roller just slightly upwards towards the armpit. Again, slight movements rolling down, chest towards the floor, and then rolling onto the back so the chest is up to the ceiling. Then bring the foam roller onto your tricep, so the back of the arm is straight. You can even dig it somewhat into the armpit if that feels good. And then the same thing, you're sort of internally rotating at the shoulder joint and then rolling back, or just staying, breathing, and owning that position. So you probably already know this, or maybe not, but the rhythm of your breath is one of the most obvious physical indications of a person's emotional state. So if you can think of like people hyperventilating when they're really having, an anxiety attack or nervous, or when they're sleeping, the breath can be sort of long and prolonged. All right, you can come off the foam roller and then head to the other side. So you'll roll the opposite side of the body. So bringing the foam roller to your mid to upper side on the torso, trying to hit the lats. So when we can learn to control our breath, it actually has an impact in what's going on in our mind and what's going on like physiologically in our body. And if we think of athletes, so when athletes get stressed out during a high pressure performance situation, their breath is usually affected in one or two ways. So they either hold their breath or they breathe those rapid, shallow breaths from the upper chest. And both of those create more tension in the body. So again, I want you to take another really deep breath in. Long breath out. And keep breathing deeply as you rock side to side on the foam roller. And then for the remainder of, well, especially this pose, but even the class, I want you to work on long exhales. So you can inhale for maybe a count of 4 or 5 or even 6. And then you'll exhale for about 2 seconds longer than your inhale. So I want you to try that now. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Keep breathing. And bring the foam roller onto the back of the arm, the armpit area. And since you are or have been in the military, you've probably heard military members talking about box breathing. So it's not only paying attention to the inhale and the exhale, but there's also this retention piece as well. So you inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds. All right. You can come out of the pose, keep the foam roller, bring your knees about mat width apart, big toes touch, and stretch your arms shoulder distance apart on the foam roller. Thumbs point up. So the roller is approximately in the forearm, closer to the wrist, head towards the floor. So taking control of your breath is really about initiating this effective relaxation response. Response in the body, so physiological, response in your brain. So we're going to try that box breathing together. So exhale, let all the air out. And then inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep breathing. So whatever count works for you, maybe it's a count of 4, maybe it's a count of 3, it doesn't matter. Just focus fully on sort of executing this task. And then do one more full cycle before just coming back to your regular breath. And then you can come out of the pose, place the foam roller on the side, and then come to lie on your back. And if it doesn't feel good lying on your back, you can sit, can move to a position that feels good, maybe prop something under your back like a towel. Bring your legs about mat width apart, arms away from the body, palms face up, even rolling your shoulders underneath the body. So we know that breathing has a positive effect on our body. And that can be, measured by scientific instruments. And we can see that we're actually making a change. But there's also this effect that it has on your mind. So when you focus on your breath, you're voluntarily taking control of what your mind chooses to focus on. So you're not allowing your brain to sort of ruminate on thoughts over and over, because you're paying attention, you're choosing to pay attention to your breath. And the breath serves as this anchor. So we tether our minds to this anchor so we can be real, not in these made up thoughts, reliving things, projecting things in the future. So really focus on breathing into your belly, your chest. And every time your mind sort of jumps away from the breath into thinking about something else, I want you to catch yourself like, oh, thinking, and then bring yourself back to paying attention to your breath. So you can even count your breath, breathing in 1, breathing out 1, breathing in 2, out 2. So I know this was just a quick session, but again, I wanted to offer you something if you maybe missed signing up for the mindset and mobility classes, or the classes just didn't fit your schedule. So if you have any questions about this, I want you to reach out to us. You can find us on social media, go to our website, and I want you to email us any questions that you have. Okay, take one more deep breath in, long breath out, and then slowly start to make your way onto your side. Come back up to a seated position. Hands on your thighs. Take a deep breath in and a long breath out.